If you've ever wondered what separates billionaires from the rest of us, let me tell you, it's not just about the money in their bank accounts or the yachts they own. It's about how they manage something far more valuable. Their time. Every second of their day is calculated, optimized, and intentional. And today, we're going deep inside the daily schedule of billionaires to uncover exactly how they structure their time, their habits, their mindset triggers, and the non-negotiables that shape their day from the moment they open their eyes until they shut them again at night. Now, before we dive into this eye-opening journey, let me hit you with a quick reality check. Most people drift through their days reacting to whatever pops up. Emails, notifications, endless scrolling, random tasks. But billionaires, they live by design, not by default. And if you're serious about upgrading your life, your productivity, your mindset, and yes, maybe even your bank account one day, this is a video you cannot afford to miss. So pause whatever you're doing, grab a coffee, put your phone on silent, and give me your full attention for the next few minutes. Because what you're about to hear could literally be the blueprint that shifts your entire approach to life. And speaking of shifting your life, before we move on, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop a comment below telling me which part of a billionaire's routine you think is going to surprise you the most. Also, make sure you check out the link in the first pinned comment. There's a huge opportunity waiting for you there. Something that's already helping thousands of people create serious transformations in their lives. Don't miss it. Alright, let's dive in. Imagine waking up in a room where the curtains automatically open at the exact time your body is ready for natural light. Not because you set an alarm last night, but because your home system is connected to your circadian rhythm data from your wearable device. This isn't science fiction. This is how many billionaires start their day. Their morning doesn't begin with a rushed alarm clock blaring in their ear. It starts with bio-optimized wake-ups, designed to support mental clarity and energy levels from the first second they open their eyes. And the first thing they do, no, it's not grabbing their phone to check social media. It's hydration. A full glass of water with electrolytes, minerals, sometimes even a squeeze of lemon or apple cider vinegar. Because they understand that after 8 hours of sleep, their body is dehydrated and energy starts at the cellular level. After that, movement. This doesn't always mean an intense workout. It could be stretching, yoga, or light cardio. But one thing is certain, there's intentional physical activity in the first hour of their day. It's about oxygenating the brain, waking up the body, and setting a tone of momentum and discipline. But here's where it gets really interesting. While most people rush into their day, reacting to emails, billionaires take time to prime their mind. Some do gratitude journaling. Others review their long-term goals. Some sit quietly in meditation, visualizing their ideal outcomes. It's mental conditioning, training their focus to stay locked on what matters most, rather than getting hijacked by distractions. Now, food. Breakfast is not just about calories for these people. It's fuel for performance. Some go for low-carb meals to keep their blood sugar stable and their cognitive function sharp. Others intermittent fast, choosing to skip breakfast entirely because they've optimized their bodies to perform better in a fasted state. There's no one here, but what they all have in common is intentionality. Nothing is random. Every decision about what goes into their body is calculated for energy, focus, and longevity. And speaking of focus, let's talk about the first major work block of the day. This is sacred time. No meetings, no interruptions, no distractions. It's often 2 to 4 hours of deep, focused work on the highest leverage task that's going to move their business or mission forward. This is when creative thinking happens, when strategic decisions are made, when the needle actually moves. During this block, notifications are off. Phones are on airplane mode or in another room entirely. Emails, they don't even get looked at until later. This is what billionaire entrepreneur Naval Ravikant calls being in maker mode. It's about creating value, solving big problems, and doing the kind of work that compounds over time. Now, after this first work sprint, it's time for a break. But again, this isn't a random scroll through social media or a quick check of the news. It's often a walk outdoors, exposure to sunlight, maybe a short mindfulness exercise. Some even use power naps to reset their brain for the next round of focus. And yes, there's science behind all of this. They're leveraging neuroscience, psychology, and physiology to maintain peak performance all day long. By midday, meetings start appearing on the calendar. But here's something most people don't realize. Billionaires hate unnecessary meetings. They know meetings are productivity killers, if not run with ruthless efficiency. Agendas are set in advance. Time limits are strictly followed. And if a meeting can be solved with a quick email or a 5-minute phone call, that's what happens. Instead, their team knows this too. People working with billionaires are trained to be brief, direct, and come with solutions, not just problems. Decision-making speed is crucial here. Billionaires don't dwell on small decisions. They save their mental bandwidth for choices that have massive impact. Everything else gets delegated, automated, or eliminated. Now, let's pause for a second. Are you seeing the pattern here? It's not just about working harder. It's about working smarter, with laser-like focus, high efficiency, and extreme intentionality. And this is something you can start applying to your own life, even if you're nowhere near billionaire status yet. Trust me, these habits compound over time. They're the difference between spinning your wheels and actually gaining traction in life. And by the way, if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, which of these habits do you want to start implementing first? Also, again, don't skip the link in the first pinned comment. If you're serious about leveling up, that's where your next big opportunity is waiting. Alright, moving on. As the afternoon progresses, billionaires shift gears into what many of them call execution mode. This is when calls get returned, strategic partnerships get discussed, and deals get made. The energy that was conserved during the morning for deep work is now deployed outward, into the world, through leadership, negotiations, and scaling operations. But even during this phase, they remain highly protective of their time. Time blocking is non-negotiable. Everything has its slot. There's no floating through the day wondering what's next. Their calendars are often color-coded, mapped out, down to the half hour, and constantly reviewed for optimization. Many of them also build in buffer zones between meetings to prevent mental fatigue and allow time for processing, thinking, or shifting focus. They understand that decision fatigue is real, and they take proactive steps to avoid it. This includes batching similar tasks together, limiting the number of decisions they make about low-impact things like food or clothing, and sticking to routines that minimize cognitive load. And yes, that's exactly why some billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs famously wore the same style of outfit every day. One less decision to make means more brain power for high-stakes decisions. Then comes what some refer to as their learning block. This is a set time each day dedicated solely to learning something new. It could be reading books, listening to podcasts, consuming research, or even taking an online course. The goal here isn't entertainment, it's growth, staying sharp, staying relevant, staying ahead. They know the world is changing fast, and if they're not upgrading their knowledge daily, they're falling behind. Warren Buffett still spends a huge chunk of his day reading. Bill Gates is known for taking entire think weeks, where he disconnects from the world just to read and think. Learning is not a luxury in their schedule. It's a requirement. As the afternoon starts winding down, most billionaires don't just crash into their evening like most people do. There's a deliberate transition phase between work mode and personal time. This transition is intentional, because they understand something most people ignore. If you don't switch gears mentally and physically, your brain stays stuck in reactive, problem-solving mode, and that affects your sleep, your relationships, and ultimately your performance the next day. For some, this transition means light physical activity, like a second short workout, a swim, or a casual walk outdoors. Others prefer mindfulness rituals like meditation, breathwork, or even a quick journaling session to close out the workday and mentally process wins, losses, and lessons learned. Some even review their calendar for the next day, just to give their subconscious mind a chance to start solving tomorrow's problems while they sleep. And speaking of evenings, let's talk about family and relationships. Contrary to what people might think, billionaires don't work 24/7. In fact, many of them guard their evening time fiercely. Dinner is often a protected space for family connection, meaningful conversations, and unwinding from the demands of the day. They know that relationships are the real wealth in life. Dinner itself tends to be intentional too, while the meals might vary. The guiding principle is the same: eat in a way that supports longevity, recovery, and sleep quality. That means balanced nutrition, often anti-inflammatory foods, low sugar, and nothing that's going to spike their energy too close to bedtime. Alcohol. It's surprisingly rare on weekdays, and if it's consumed at all, it's done mindfully and in moderation after dinner. Many billionaires engage in what could best be described as active relaxation. This isn't just sitting on the couch passively consuming hours of TV or mindlessly scrolling on their phone. Instead, it's often hobbies that stimulate creativity or relaxation in a more engaged way. Reading, playing a musical instrument, spending time on passion projects, or even enjoying time with close friends. Now let's talk about their relationship with technology in the evening. This part might surprise you. The same people who own tech companies and live their days surrounded by data and devices often have strict rules about screen time at night. Blue light blockers, phone curfews, and digital detox hours are common practices. They understand the impact that late-night screen exposure has on sleep quality and mental health. So they set boundaries and stick to them. And when it comes to sleep, billionaires don't see it as a luxury or a weakness. They treat it as a performance tool. Many track their sleep with wearable devices, monitoring everything from REM cycles to heart rate variability. They optimize bedroom environments with blackout curtains, white noise machines, cool temperatures, and even air purifiers. Why? Because they know poor sleep means poor decisions, and poor decisions in their world mean millions of dollars, missed opportunities, or even reputational damage. Now here's something really important. Almost all of them have some form of nighttime reflection. This could be a gratitude list, a short journal entry about the day's biggest win, or simply asking themselves questions like, what did I learn today? Or what could I have done better? This habit of self-reflection is like a daily mini-audit. It keeps them honest, self-aware, and constantly improving. And speaking of constant improvement, one thing that stands out across almost every billionaire's daily schedule is their obsession with feedback loops. They don't just rely on how they feel about their day. They track metrics, health metrics, business KPIs, even personal productivity stats. They look at the data, analyze the results, and adjust their strategies accordingly. They're running their life the same way they run a business. Test, measure, optimize, repeat. Now, you might be wondering, is every billionaire's routine exactly like this? Of course not. There are variations based on personality, industry, lifestyle, and even geography. But the core principles stay consistent: extreme intentionality, ruthless prioritization, continuous learning, and relentless self-optimization. Some billionaires start their days at 5 in the morning, others at 8. Some prefer heavy lifting in the gym, others opt for yoga or Pilates. Some meditate for an hour, others for 10 minutes. The details shift, but the mindset doesn't. They're all playing life at a high level, with clear goals and structured action. And here's the most important part for you watching this right now. None of these habits are exclusive to billionaires. You don't need a private jet or a multi-million-dollar mansion to start implementing these principles. You can start small. Maybe it's blocking out your first 2 hours tomorrow for deep work. Maybe it's setting a bedtime reminder on your phone tonight. Maybe it's swapping your late-night scrolling for 10 minutes of journaling. The point is, change starts with small, intentional actions, repeated consistently over time. Billionaires didn't become who they are overnight. They built these routines day by day, habit by habit, decision by decision. So if you're serious about transforming your life, start modeling the behavior of people who've already built extraordinary levels of success. Steal their systems, copy their discipline, adopt their mindset. That's how you level up. And let me remind you again, this is more than just a motivational video. It's an invitation to stop drifting through your days and start designing your life. So if this resonated with you, don't just click away and forget about it. Take action. Start by smashing that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're going to keep diving into topics like this, bringing you actionable insights that can genuinely shift your trajectory. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one thing from this billionaire daily schedule that you're going to start applying this week? Is it the morning hydration? The deep work block? The tech-free evenings? Let me know, and make sure to check out the link in the first pinned comment. That's where you'll find an exclusive opportunity that's already helping thousands of people take control of their lives, their productivity, and their results. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. At the end of the day, the biggest difference between billionaires and everyone else isn't just money. It's mindset, it's discipline, and it's how they choose to spend the 24 hours we all get every single day. The question is, how are you going to spend yours?